And welcome back to the Diamond Lane here on Classic 107. My name is Chris Wolf. It is 5 o'clock on the first Wednesday of the month, and that means it is time for Classic 107's favorite local wine and food expert, George Andrews from G.J. Andrews Food and Wine Shoppe, to stop by our Classic 107 studios and tell us about his wine selection for this month of June. Hey, George, it's great to have you here again.
Thanks. Glad to be back.
So this month, you've chosen what looks like a very tasty, it's called Decibel Organic Rosé, made from Merlot grapes. What can you tell us about this wine, and can you talk a little bit about the winery? It's based out of New Zealand, right?
Yes, Hawke's Bay area on the east coast, on the North Island of New Zealand. Wonderful, wonderful area for growing grapes. Fabulous area for growing grapes for rosés. They also, most people probably know, New Zealand is famous for Sauvignon Blancs. And I love Sauvignon Blancs from all over the world, but I think nobody touches New Zealand for the most premium Sauvignon Blancs. This one this rosé I picked because summertime, June, it's getting hot outside. People are going to the cottage. You're sitting on the deck. You're sitting in the backyard. You're looking for just a nice, cool, refreshing, crisp glass of wine to just relax with. Food or no food. Great wine either way.
Something to cool you off on a hot June day.
So the Merlot grape is a red grape, and many people probably know red Merlot wines, and many people probably drink them because they're very popular. So how do we get this lighter pink wine as opposed to the red, deep red Merlot? It's just a matter of time with the skins. So the color, the pigment comes out of the skins. It's a red grape. So the winemaker will wait till they get the color they want, then they'll remove the skins and continue the winemaking process, the fermentation, etc. So it's just a matter of leaving the skins in contact until you get the right color that you want. Now, the other thing I want to clarify is the difference between a rosé and something like a white Zinfandel. Many people think when they see a pink wine, oh, they're all sweet. Rosés traditionally are very dry wines. White Zinfandels are sweeter wines. And the reason they're sweeter is because they're not fermented as much, so some of the residual sugar is left in the wine. Right. It's not all fermented. If you ferment all the sugar, you get a very dry wine. If you ferment very little of the sugar, so you got a lower alcohol content, you get a very sweet wine. So this ice wines, Canadian ice wines, right, they'll run you 7 or 8% alcohol. Because whereas a dry red will run you 15.5% alcohol, because we're fermenting all of the sugar in the dry red, or almost all of the sugar, right, as whereas in an ice wine or a white Zinfandel, we're not fermenting all of the sugar, so we get sweeter wines. Rosés are dry wines. They're not sweet wines. And many people will say, I suggest a rosé to them, say, oh, I don't like sweet wines, because they're thinking white Zinfandel. Right. Big difference between the two.
Yeah, one of the things that came up when I was doing the research for today was I came across a new word, this word must, in regards to wine. What is it? What is must?
It's you crush your grapes, you put them in your vat, you let the fermentation start. The must is all what settles to the bottom of the vat. So it's your sediment, it's your seeds, your skins, your pulp. If you've removed the skins, because in the case of a rosé, because you've got the color you want, then it's the balance of everything else. That is just the wine is sitting on the must.
Right. So in regards to the rosé, it's you've got the skins essentially at the bottom, and it's just a matter of how long that juice is in contact with the skins.
Yes.
Right?
And then it's just pumped off. The skins are removed, and then the fermentation process is continued.
Oh man. This is a 2022 vintage, so it's really, really fresh. Do rosés age well?
Rosés are meant to be consumed right away.
Okay.
Fresh, crisp. Enjoy them now. They're not wines that you want to put down in the cellar for 5-10 years. They're just meant to be very fresh, crisp, enjoyed now types of wines.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking here, it's a wine that should be in the fridge. It makes for a nice, refreshing afternoon drink.
Do not. For me, I would never drink a rosé that wasn't chilled. Some people might. I don't know of anybody that does. Definitely drink them chilled.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I think of rosés and Zinfandels, actually, I always think of them as going well with salads. Perfect food for a hot day. You don't want to be eating a hot. For the most part, you don't want to be eating a hot meal. You want something nice and light, like a salad. Can you talk about some of the salads that would pair well with this wine?
Yeah. So with any wine, the more vinegar you have in your dressing, the less the wine is going to go well with it.
Okay.
because vinegar is very acidic. And a little test for people to try if they want to just see how this would work. Take any wine you're drinking, whether it's a rosé, a cabernet, a merlot, anything you're drinking, a sauvignon blanc, any wine you're drinking. Taste some of the wine, then take a lemon wedge. You know, when you would in your teen years and you do tequila shooters and you bite the lime, do that with a lemon wedge. Even do it with lime, but do it with a lemon wedge. Bite the lemon, get that lemon juice in your mouth after you've tasted your wine. Swallow the lemon juice, then drink the wine again. And a wine that had lots of acidity is going to now taste flat and very sweet because you've taken all the acidity out of play in the wine. There's so much more acid in that lemon that's now overpowered your mouth that you don't notice the acidity in the wine. So the wine actually tastes flat. And even a very dry, crisp, refreshing wine with good acidity will taste flat and sweet. So it gives you an example of what would happen if you had too much vinegar on the salad. Too much vinegar on that salad, it's going to make the wine taste flat to you. So there's a balance there. Something like a Caesar's with a rosé, no problem at all because it doesn't have that much acidity to it, right? Like it's a much softer, creamier, smoother dressing. So something like that. You can do a dressing that has vinegar in it, but I would say you want it to be heavier on the olive oil than you do on the vinegar, like just a splash of vinegar, and it would be fine. It's also rosés are great wines to go with seafoods. You're doing any kind of seafood, ceviche, any kind of a grilled fish, pickerel, any salmon on the barbecue, halibut, cod, anything like that.
I'm also thinking white meats too, right?
Poultry for sure, even burgers. Rosés and burgers on the patio. Excellent pairings.
I was reading somewhere too, it goes well with lamb. Is that right?
Yes, they go very well with lamb. Lamb is very Mediterranean. Mediterraneans have hot climates, so they've really paired well with the Mediterranean climate and the foods from the Mediterranean. So, you look at Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece. Rosés go great with those, with the foods that they serve there, and lamb is a big part of their diet. Goes very well with it.
I've said this before. We talked about it. I love cheese. What kind of cheese would go well with this?
Lighter cheeses. So I wouldn't tell you to do something like a Stilton blue cheese or Danish blue or an 8-year-old cheddar, but Brie, Cambozola, Saint-Agur, Saint-Andre, cheeses like that, creamy, rich cheeses, lighter style, they'd go very well with it.
Okay, so we're gonna have a rosé out on the deck. It's a June afternoon. Can you put together the perfect charcuterie board for us? Like, what kinds of things would you put on that?
So something like that, we do like prosciutto hams, prosciutto salamis. We do capicolas, something with a little bit of spice to it. I like the hot capicola. It's got a little bit of a nip to it. Olives, marinated artichoke hearts, assortment of nuts, walnuts, pistachios, that type of thing. Sun-dried tomatoes, all of those things go very well. And cheeses, pâtés, excellent with it.
Where can people go if they want to perhaps get a charcuterie board put together and maybe order a gift basket to go along with this wine?
We do all of that. As a matter of fact, charcuterie boards are incredibly popular. We're putting those out on a daily basis. Charcuterie boards, no problem. Gift baskets. You can even send a charcuterie style basket to somebody. So we just do it in a gift basket, but put all the ingredients that would go on a charcuterie board, and you can send that off to somebody so they can just assemble their own at home. We do it all at 384 Academy Road, G.J. Andrews Food and Wine. And we're there we also deliver. So anything that people need on the food end of it, we're there to help you.
And of course,
wine.
Everything we've talked about today is available at G.J. Andrews Food and Wine Shoppe.
Absolutely.
George, again, this has just been great. Thanks for taking the time to stop by our Classic 107 studios and talk to me today.
My pleasure. Thank you.